Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Robot Tech. My name is Scottersphone5, and today we're doing a podcast with multiple streamers once in a while. And today we're doing the greatest beard of all time on the internet, I think. Zai, how are you, my friend?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, your wife always threatens you to shave it off every
Yes,
charity run, so.
yes, it's a constant struggle and a constant battle with the wife.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's all the same. So, we'll kind of get started here. I've been following Zai for a long time, so I don't feel a lot educated about you. So this is a good opportunity. So let's start off right away. Like, how did you get into streaming? Kind of what kind of cultivated you to be a streamer?
Yeah, so um, I have been streaming on Twitch on and off for about 6 years now. Well, this will be the sixth year. Not regularly, but the very first time I streamed was about 6 years ago. And that's because I'm a extra lifer and I play games to raise money for charity. And I figured well, this is what people do. They play games and stream online. So I gave it a shot. Of course, back then, my hardware was not what it is today. And so, in order for me and my friends to even attempt streaming, we had a laptop with a webcam on it. And we turned that thing around, and we had the webcam showing onto our TV screen where we were playing games, and that's how we streamed on Twitch. It was
Nice.
100% potato quality.
Nice. Yeah. I think at the time, I always said I didn't start with a webcam because I was just nervous with showing my face on camera. Now I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, if they really wanted, they could probably see who I am anyway. So it's the internet these
Exactly.
days.
Yep. Yeah. And from then on, I really liked the idea of streaming, and I was like, yeah, I think I could get into this. And from then on, a little up every single year was a little bit of upgrade to my stream. I bought an Elgato so I can actually, capture, the video instead of having a webcam on a TV. I can actually, capture the actual game and then a webcam, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, you always have to start somewhere, even if it's just gaming, some sort of just a couple games, and then obviously buy games over time. I feel like so far behind. I don't know how you feel about, like yeah, new game release is the best game of the year, and I buy it like a month from now. I'm like, yeah, well,
Uh, I am the same way. It's gotten to a point where like I don't know if I can spend the $60 on a game when I know in a month it's going to be less, or I can
right.
do a sale on it. But yeah, I'm definitely not up to the times with new releases.
Yeah, it's okay. So, since you explained Extra Life, so kind of how did you find out about Extra Life? Like, how did you kind of felt that streaming, you found Extra Life and you're like, oh, streaming, you kind of mentioned it, but, like, how did
Yeah,
you,
yeah. So I found out about Extra Life through my sister. She kind of just 6 years ago, found Extra Life online and said, "Hey, you might be interested." And for those that don't know what Extra Life is, it's a gaming marathon. But we can raise money all year long if we want to, and we just tell our friends and their family that, hey, I'm doing a 24-hour marathon where I'm just going to play nothing but games all day long. But I'm doing it for the kids, for charity, and we have our own website where people can go and sponsor and donate to us, and we get to choose which hospital our money goes to. And ever since I was younger, that's one thing that I've wanted to do, and I'm sure many people have heard this is, when you're growing up and you love playing games, and that's all you want to do is just play video games. People say, video games are a waste of time. Why are you wasting your time on the games when you can go outside and do things or be productive? And When I grew up, I was like, I wanted to find a way to show that video games aren't a waste of time. And eventually, I found something called Awesome Games Done Quick, Summer Games Done Quick, and I was like, wow, these are speedrunners of games, and they're raising money by just playing games. And I really wanted to get into that. However, I am not a speedrunner. I'm very bad at it.
Right.
But when my sister told me about Extra Life, I was like, this is it. I could just play games to raise money for charity. And ever since then, I've been a huge supporter for Extra Life.
Yeah, I think you've gone definitely a long way when I first followed you on Twitch, and I can't believe some of the ideas that you come up with. We'll mention soon, but I just thought of something like how do you kind of like explain, I guess, streaming or Extra Life to people? I feel like it's kind of a hard time. Yeah, I stream for charity and through playing video games. I feel like once you say video games, I think you mentioned it kind of saying, well, where you don't go outside, what do you do? Like, so do you feel
Yeah,
like,
and oh yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, a lot of people still think, that playing video games is just a waste of time. Like, why are you playing games? Like, how can video games be a charity? And I I come across people like that all the time. It's a hit or miss. You might find someone who that you can change their mind about video games. Like some people just don't know that you can use games as a way to do good. But then there are those that are 100% think video games are bad. They think violent games cause mental issues and things like that, and those people you just can't change their mind. But some people, I tell them, you know, with streaming, they don't get it. They don't understand why would I want to watch somebody stream a game when I could just play myself? And at first I understood that. That's how I felt. I didn't get it either. But when you think about it, when people watch football or they watch any kind of sport on TV, you're not playing it, but you're watching the sport. You're watching other people play it, and that's kind of like streaming. Yes, you're not playing the game, but you're it's much more than just watching somebody play. You can actually interact with the streamer. You get to talk to them. You get to ask them how their day was. It becomes a community once you start meeting other people because of a streamer. Your community grows and you become friends, and you actually start caring about each other. And at that point, it's much more than just watching somebody play a game on the internet.
yeah, exactly. I think that's why Extra Life is so great. It's like I was just mentioning on the last podcast, I was like, I wouldn't have met you or all these other, extra lifers without Extra Life. Like, and then everyone supports everyone, so it's like, it's a great community, and I feel like, yeah, like you said, and we get along perfectly fine. There's some days where I could definitely be mad at you. No, I'm joking. No, but
But yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
I
it's
totally
for.
get it. And I think if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I think I met you through Hero by Clicking.
Mhm.
I think I was watching him play one of his 100 Days of Gaming uh, days, and I remember seeing you in his stream, and just by talking with you, talking with Hero, through Extra Life, I feel like anybody who participates in Extra Life, we're already friends. Like the moment you sign up, we become friends,
Yeah.
and at that point, it's like we already have something in common, and our friendship and our community can grow from there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you want to advertise that like out in the public that you're friends with me, but that's up to you. No. Uh, but yeah, I get
You're
it.
all
Yeah,
right.
I'm okay. No. So I always bring you up a lot, and it's not in a bad way, but about your ideas. Obviously, I I talk about some of your ideas that you have that raise money through Extra Life, other than streaming. So if you don't mind, like what were I know you do Bee Swarm. Is that a part of Extra Life as well?
Uh, it's somewhat. Be the Swarm is actually a separate group of individuals, but they're trying to spread their brand and trying to get more and more people to play their games because they make games for all charities around the world. And to me, when the first time I saw them, I was like, "This is perfect. This is a great tool for Extra Life because we're already playing games to raise money, and here's a platform where you can play their mobile games that actually earns ad revenue, and then that ad revenue can be donated back to Extra Life." But they also there's lots of other people that use Be the Swarm as well for animal shelters for um, even college students who need an extra, $50 that are struggling trying to get through college, paying bills and things like that. So it's a pretty cool tool. But in terms of like some of the other ideas that I've used, I know we've mentioned my beard before,
Yep.
and right now it's very majestic. But it wasn't always like that because one of the goals or the challenges that I did. I think it was about maybe a year or so ago. Was a save or shave tug of war where
Mhm.
I had people donating for me to save the beard and people donating to shave the beard. And in my honest opinion, I think that was one of the best challenges that I came up with because I think we raised over $650 doing that, and it was amazing to see people fighting each other. And in the end, all the money goes right to the hospital.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then at least last year, I don't know if didn't notice it this year, but you posted like some of your running results, and you just did hashtag Extra Life, and or
Yep. Yeah.
yes.
So I try to promote Extra Life as much as I can, and being I mentioned Hero by Clicking before, and he created something called the 100 Days of Gaming,
Mhm.
and basically you play a different game every single day up until Extra Life. Last year, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to try running as a way to help raise money for the kids because anything can be turned into a game if as long as you make it fun.
Mhm.
And so I thought, well, maybe I could do 100 days of 10Ks, 10,000 steps a day. Um, One of my, I think it was, yeah, it's been over a year now. I don't know if you knew, but I lost my voice for about 5 or 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was the oddest thing that's ever happened to me. And it was because I wanted to try to eat better and drink healthier. And I love soda. Soda is like my downfall. But I decided to cut out soda, and I stuck with water and juice. And I'm thinking, well, juice is fruit. Yeah, it's got some sugar in it, but it's not as bad as a soda. And so I drank a lot of juice. I ate, and eventually I ended up losing my voice, and no
No.
idea what happened. I was like, what's going on? So I went to the doctor, and it turns out I have a lot of acid reflux. And so all that acid from the juice
Oh.
affected my vocal cords.
Oh
And
wow.
it was at that point I was like, all right, I need to make a life change. I have to do something. But, you know, exercising and doing a lot of running and walking, whatever, it takes a lot of time to do. And being a busy person as I am with work, family, gaming is very important to me. And I added, extra life as a part of my gaming. When I game, I always do it for the kids for extra life. Well, when I lost my voice, I wanted to get healthier. I couldn't necessarily play games all the time, so I made exercise a game. I turned it into, you know, 100 days of 10Ks where I posted a result of my walking every single day. and I always make sure I put the hashtag extra life, just to show like, you don't have to play just games to raise money for the kids. You can pretty much do anything you want to raise money.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds great. So let's talk about some of the games you do play. You mentioned Beast Swarm. Like what kind of games you like to stream usually, and what kind of I guess genre that you're kind of addicted to that can't get
Yeah.
out of.
Uh, my favorite genre of games is RPGs. I love a good story. I love relatable characters that go through struggle, go through challenges, and then learn, and then ultimately be this really amazing, strong character in the end, being able to defeat any enemy that they come along the way. Those are my favorite types of games, and I used to stream a lot of RPGs. Uh, because I played Final Fantasy 14 for the longest time, and I loved playing and streaming that game. Most recently, though, I've kind of changed how I view streaming. Instead of picking games that are single player, which is usually what I enjoy the most, I'm trying to find more community driven games. So games like Fortnite or any game that can be played online with friends. I'm wanting to start playing more of those games, get a little bit more competitive. Because Extra Life, once a year they have an event called Extra Life United, and it's a big tournament where lots of Extra Lifers around the world basically come together, and we play and compete against each other for money for our hospitals. And I've been twice, and it's kind of given me a bit of a competitive itch. So I've been trying my hands into games like Brawlhalla, which is a really fun fighter. I actually ended up placing fourth overall in Brawlhalla. So I was like, I'm pretty good. Maybe I should try other games and see if I can get good at it as well. And who knows? One day maybe I'll bring home thousands of dollars from my hospital.
Right. Yeah, I forgot to thank you for mentioning that. I totally blanked when I sent you those questions. I
Yeah,
didn't even think to ask about that tournament you went to.
yeah.
That was just recently.
It's a lot of fun. I tell people all the time, like, even if you don't want to compete, just go. It's a life changing experience because it's different than any other tournament that I've ever been to. A lot of tournaments are really cutthroat. You go for like a specific game that you're really good at, but you don't want to talk to anybody else because you don't want them knowing your strategy or
Right.
anything like that. But that's not the case with Extra Life United. You go there, people are laughing, they're having fun, and then there's several moments where people are crying. It's a very emotional experience, and there were several moments where we're competing against each other for money,
Right.
and you know, I've had people ask me, "Hey, how'd you do that in the game?" And then I said, "Well, this is how I do it," and I actually explained it to them, and that's happened to me before too. People explain to me how they did certain things in the game, so we're helping each other, but you know, and then even though we lose, in the end, all that money goes to hospitals, go to the children. So
Right.
it's such a fun, yeah,
I,
fun
f-
experience.
I feel like even if they didn't win, at least they kind of got their name out there and the hospital. So even if they watch whoever's watching the tournaments, you'd be like, oh, that guy, I liked him. I liked how he played, but
Yeah, it's
unfortunately
such a
he
great
lost.
Yeah, it's a great networking experience too. Like you meet so many other like-minded individuals, and it's all about building that community. You meet some new people, exchange Twitter accounts and stuff like that, and next thing you know, the next time you stream, you've got a bunch of people coming to hang out because we're all extra lifers.
Yeah, exactly. So do you like something like Kingdom Come? That's a new game that's
I've
out.
heard of it, but I
Oh
haven't
man.
tried it.
Well, basically, let me tell you. Basically, it seems like if someone says, okay, go to the go to this place and with a group of our friends or whatever, and you get distracted, and all of a sudden you see them kind of like walking away. So like it's real life. It's kind of like you gotta do it now, or
Oh,
and is but the only I guess the only problem is the combat in the game is very difficult. Um, Also, I suggest like Divinity Original Sin or
yes, I've heard it. A friend of mine played that one, and it sounds like that's a good co-op game too.
yeah, that one's it looked nice. I definitely wanted to get into it. And then what's the last one? I have it. But yeah, uh those I think you'd be interested in. Um is those are really good. Can't even think of it. But yeah, sounds good. I think we're good. Yeah. Um Yeah, thanks for really stopping by. I really appreciate it. Really glad to hear from you and to hear some of your things. Like what I guess the one thing I always ask is like kind of what do you kind of like suggest to like streamers and stuff that kind of get them motivated, I guess, and keep them motivated that you could like share.
Yeah. So probably the biggest thing I tell everybody that, especially they want to get into streaming, is it requires a lot of patience. Um, by no means am I the biggest and greatest streamer on the internet, but it it took a lot of time and a lot of effort. Having a set schedule does help, but don't try to push yourself too much. Like I even myself, I get burned out. Just I love playing games, but I do get burned out trying to you know juggle streaming and life, and things happen. And you know when when I lost my voice for those several months, I couldn't stream at all. Uh, but after a while, once get into a rhythm of streaming, you start meeting people, and even if you're gone for a certain amount of time, those people are still going to be there, and they're going to be there to support you. You just have to find your audience. It can be tough, but if people see your dedication, they see that you're really trying your hardest, they'll come, and they'll be there, right there, 100% of the way.
Yeah, especially the I always say like I'm more concentrated on the people that come back versus new people because people that who come
Yes,
back are obviously they're coming back for a reason. Well, people who just follow you might be okay. You're just giving a giveaway that day or something like that. It's a little
yep,
frustrating where it's
I
like,
I agree, and yeah, that's happened to me so many times to the point to where I don't do as many giveaways just because some people just come for that giveaway.
yeah,
But once you start seeing those people, that those familiar names in your chat, or even if you talk to them on Discord, the familiar voices, that means a lot. They're here for you because they enjoy you. They enjoy your company.
yeah. Apparently, I'm still around for some reason. No, I'm joking. Uh, yeah, that's kind of why I think getting currency through chat is I think might work out for people that okay, well, I'd rather give a giveaway to someone who's been on watching my stream versus someone who just joined for 10 minutes. Obviously, the
Yep.
people who've been longer have more points than you who just obviously just joining for this reason for a giveaway. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yes. Exactly.
anyways, thank you. I lied to all of you. His name isn't Zai. His name is Xyladar. Is actually his real Twitter name. A lot of people call him Zai, so that's why kind of this whole time I call him Zai. And I had to ask you how do you even pronounce your name, and that's probably why a lot of people don't know how to say
Yes.
your name. So check him out on Twitter at Xyladar. I'll post it in the link. And then yeah, and on Twitch, really does a great job, and he has an epic beard. And if you want to see those
Yep.
great, cool things that you mentioned about shaving it. I think I donated that year where I was like, yeah, you got to keep it. I'm on your side.
Yes,
Uh,
it was a very close battle. I think Shave won by like $1 or something like that.
yeah. So probably your wife. You're like, your wife. Because I
Oh
know your
yes,
wife is way against it.
yeah, she was watching it the entire time. Save was ahead. She would like donate another $5 or something like that.
So
But she loves what I do, and she is a huge supporter of what I do as well. So I think a lot of the stuff that I do, I wouldn't be able to do without her.
yeah, especially I think I said hi to you and I said epic beard and then I heard your wife in the background saying shave it off and I'm like, well, okay. So, yeah, check Xyladar out on Twitch and Twitter there. It's a lot of he does a lot of things to the community. So, appreciate your time. Really appreciate you coming on here.
Oh
Um,
yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun. Thank you
yeah,
for having me.
yeah, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.